Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hans Klingson, I'm Chairman of the Village of Fishkill Planning Board. At this time, I'll call the Village of Fishkill Planning Board for March 19th, 2026 to order. Will the Secretary please take a roll call to establish a quorum?
Teresa Cacello?
Here.
Cassandra Williams Hunt?
Here.
Trudy Newhart?
Here.
Joe Testa?
No, Joe.
Ezra Holly. Okay.
Okay.
And others in attendance are
Call you?
Building Inspector
Jim.
Oh, I didn't see you. Greg, what was your last name again? I'm sorry. Brown. Greg Brown.
Present.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then Joel Petras, Building Inspector, Kristen Podgy, Village Engineer, Sarah Brown, the Planner, and Victoria Paladero, the Village Attorney, not the Village Attorney, Planning Attorney.
Okay. We do have a quorum. Okay. Trudy, you'll be a voting member tonight. Welcome to the board. I'll entertain the motion to accept the minutes for February 19th, 2026, or approval or corrections, if any.
So moved. Seconds.
I have a motion and second on the floor to accept the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We're going to move things around on the agenda this evening because our engineer has a other meeting he has to be at. So we will go to, let's see. 42 Jackson Street for a continuation of site plan and certificate of appropriate. Will the applicant please come forward and identify yourself for the record?
Michael McCormick, Liska McCormick and Boris Architects.
Anthony Segretti, the owner.
And you want to review what the plans are?
I think we're pretty much set, Chairman. We did meet with Joel Petras about the idea of having the breezeway between the two buildings and connecting them to create a two-family home. We did speak with an engineer with regard to the stormwater. Joe Berger will be following up with that. So we need the ground to thaw before he can take his test pits. That's why we're holding off on that a little bit. But Mr. Berger felt that there was certainly, it was going to be fine in terms of the stormwater. He didn't see any issues with that.
Okay, there seems to be a problem here with this breezeway situation. And rather than continuation with this thing, what I would like to do is set up a public hearing, which is needed, and between now and the public hearing, meet with Sarah and the engineers and the building inspector to resolve this breezeway issue, and we'll move forward from there.
Okay. So that's fine. So you'll set a public hearing this evening?
Yes.
And then in between now and that point, we'll meet together? Yeah.
Yes, if that would be necessary.
Yeah, that's fine with us. You're good with that, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
What is the issue with the breezeway? That it's there?
That's complicated.
I can add to that a
Yeah,
little
go
bit,
ahead.
Teresa. So we need to make sure that because it's going to be a two-family home, that the way that the house is laid out actually complies with the zoning, that it's a two-family home, and there's a question of connecting with a breezeway really achieves that. So we just want to make sure that the building footprint complies with zoning, that it's a true two-family home.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll set up the public hearing for, let's see, April 16th?
I will not be at that meeting.
Okay.
So
And 16th is the third, right? So I'll entertain a motion that we set up a public meeting for this project for Thursday, April 16th.
yeah. That's why
Do I have a motion?
two alternates. Yeah. I won't be here, so I
Oh,
don't want to do
okay.
the
Do I have a
motion.
motion?
Motion second. So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We'll see you on the 16th then.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, everyone.
Next item on the agenda is site plan for approval, certificate of appropriateness, 1010 and 1012 Main Street. Will the applicant please come forward and identify yourself for the record?
All right.
Apartment complex. We are intending to have 9 units of apartments, 4 bedroom apartments, and 4 2-bedroom apartments and a studio. I can go over the architectural design and then we can just go over sort of the schematic site plan what we get presented. So remember that the entire intent of the architectural design is to be in keeping with the actual designs in the village of Fishkill. As you can see, this would be the second floor of the building, along with a mansard roof, open windows to the top floor. The entrances to the building would be around the rear of the building. But in any event, we actually did some preliminary parking analysis, and we find that for the 9 units, we would actually need to have 15 parking spaces, and we would also include, amongst that would be the 30 spaces which were already present for the post office and the additional building which Ryan has recently taken over. So there would be a total of 45 spaces. Included within the 45 spaces would be 2 handicap spaces. We have presented a survey of all of the utilities, all of the boundary surveys, and some of the topographic information, so that we can use this as a platform to design utilities for this site and some grading that can be done. So we do have a survey which has been signed off by Larry. Some of the minor modifications that Ryan wanted to make, I don't know if you're familiar with them or not, but there's in the parking area, we have the pavement sections which are actually corrugated in order to be able to take care of some of the stormwater which may run off. And it so happens that a lot of the people that come into the parking area are not parking on these paved areas because I don't know if they're not familiar with them or we just don't know, but I think Ryan can attest to that.
Yeah, so I mean, people, we could probably do some little bit more work to clean them up, but people don't like to park on them. The snow guys don't like plowing them. I think people are confused that it's a patio or something along those lines, especially in the post office side. So people continue to park, at 45-degree angles there.
Do you have curb stops or like parking spots?
No, we can line them, but it's just, even when we put a couple cars out there, people are still pulling diagonally in front of those cars.
Well,
So anyway, we have a solution that we would like to add.
well, I would presume that if people are living there, they can be told they can park on that, and that should solve it. I mean, I get it, people coming to a post office, not seeing that, and I want to say I'd like it to stay as it is, to let the stormwater go, because I've just spent 4 weeks pulling water out of my basement, and I live 2 doors down from that, so.
Well, when we eliminate them, we're still going to maintain the stormwater runoff, to be honest.
Well,
So, what we wanted to do was, we wanted to take the papers, remove them, and we can actually, do a little detail that I showed in here, which actually shows that we would actually take this pavement and just sort of lift it up a little bit, and we can actually asphalt it, and any additional runoff that we may be able to attenuate into possibly a chamber before it gets into the actual catch basin. Same here, we would also have a stormwater management plan for this area, just to handle the stormwater in a little bit different manner, but it would still be conveyed into a chamber or handling in a different way.
Did you look at the prior plans, because they used those permeable pavers, because I believe the site was going to exceed the lot coverage without them?
I noticed that there was, when we did the lot coverage, we were over, as you can see by our analysis, we were over the lot coverage. But there's green space that we could introduce here, and I don't know if all this other green space was actually included in the actual impervious coverage. As I talked to myself and one of my employees, and I don't believe it was actually included, but we can actually introduce some more green space in this particular area so we can come to the 80% required. I totally understand that. But there's a second floor. The line, you can over there, as a matter of fact, the people are still not parking in a 90-degree angle. They're still parking at a 45-degree angle in the post office. In other words, they don't park in the actual 90-degree parking area, which is designed for. You continuously see them pulling up at the 45-degree angle. It actually compromises a lot of the circulation around the post office. So people alleviate that we would like to have the 90-degree parking versus having it coming in at 45 degrees all the time.
oh, so the post office is still going to be there.
Oh, yeah, of course. This is a second story.
Okay, so that wasn't
This is the
clear.
second story for the
Yeah.
post office. This, as you see, this is the post office. This is the bottom elevation of the post office right here. This is the new top.
Okay.
Second floor.
I just think signage would be the
whole idea
solving
of the
that.
architectural intent was to design it so that it would look like it had been there all along, rather than being something that would be new. And we want to have it in keeping with the architectural features
No.
which are prevalent in the village.
And even, like I said, outside of the parking, it's also a snow removal issue. Had 2 different contractors basically give us trouble with coming in with a sweeper on the small equipment they use, and done it by hand, and try to plow, and it just doesn't look very well.
Now, is the post office staying, or they have a contract for X amount of years, or
Yeah, they have a long-term lease there. So we're starting.
are they not going to move away in the next 2 or 3 years? Or?
I don't believe so, no. I think they have 6 years left on the lease with another 10-year option, so definitely not within the next 2 years.
Sarah,
So we just provided some general comments. I'll just highlight some of them. Some of it is details on the plans, making sure the application materials are updated, the site plan application, because you will need a special use permit for apartments in the VCBD district, so we need that. And we'll also require a certificate of appropriateness from this board as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I have, they're in the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I just didn't get a copy.
I may have not,
in
yeah. I got that
L
answer.
version, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. No, I don't, it's okay if Ginny has it. I just,
I think they're in the past.
okay. Yeah, it's probably in my package here. It wasn't in the email package. Just a general overall comment, though, that I have is that in the plan set, we need like a site plan that shows the layout of the proposed property. So how everything will be built out, like where the parking will be. Does the new building footprint match the two existing building footprints? Like where are the apartments going to be? Are you redoing sidewalks, landscaping, all of that? We need to see like a separate site plan. Okay.
So the apartments are only over the post office, or are they over the?
They're only over the top of the post office.
Well, and there were 3 retail. The existing structure that's there, the first structure.
The offices and the post office.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
We submitted schematic architectural so we can actually take a look at it and see where the 4 one-bedrooms are located and the 4 two-bedrooms.
Right,
That's it, that's all we're making an application for.
right. But for the board, for the site plan approval, we will need an actual site plan that doesn't just say existing building. It has to show us, like, this will be the proposed new apartment building with, if you're changing sidewalks out there, like internal walks on the property, all the parking stuff, the changes that you said you're gonna make to the building, the lot coverage to be compliant with the 80%. We'll need to see all of that.
And we do have a parking layout, real quick. The existing spaces that are required, plus the additional spaces, which would actually be a total of 45 spaces, which is still around.
Yeah.
Any drainage situation like that would be presenting, to Christian, any pre-post analysis for the
Yeah,
draining the stormwater. I noticed though that on the, and Christian can probably verify, I don't know if you saw it or not, but are those pipes 12-inch diameter pipes out there?
In the street?
Yeah.
I have a picture of one I could show you, because there was one just broken this week.
I'm not sure.
Lynn gave us a survey, and I looked at it, and I haven't seen that ever.
Yeah, that seems light, obviously, but I'm not sure.
We would have a stormwater management report and plan in order to have no net increase into that system. Probably be a lot better than what it is right now, quite honestly. Because, we would design it for a certain storm that, Christian and I would negotiate, 2, 10, whatever it might be, and so forth. And I feel as though Ryan is more than happy to make things better than what they are, because there is a little bit of ponding that does occur in that parking lot. And that could be something that would help you out.
Yeah, and the one right next to the 11 Carrie also had water in her basement,
Yeah.
so.
So we have the lighting plan. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, but that was something that we also presented.
I did have a chance to look at that briefly. One thing that I will note, because this is in the historic district, typically the board, as part of their certificate of appropriateness, require more historical looking fixtures than,
I totally agree with you, but
Yeah.
as long as you're willing to accept a non-bug lighting fixture, every municipality that we go to, they want these non-bug lighting fixtures. And I'm always into the acorn light fixtures, which are more appropriate. But we have a project in the village of Wappingers, and we just can't get the fixture that actually meets all those requirements without.
Non-bug, you said?
Present something.
Yeah.
I think these lights are very similar, if not the same model that was on the last site plan approval.
okay, I think we did have discussion about those at the time. There was a concern about the ones that would be along the residential properties. So just for the board, the bug rating is the backlight, the uplight, and the glare that comes off of and they're rated from 0 to 5.
Yeah.
So I believe as part of the previous application, we wanted to make sure that along the rear property line with the adjacent residences, that we were getting full cutoff fixtures and we weren't causing any spilling into the residential properties. But so that is understandable. I mean, it's obviously the board's decision, but I think on the front portion of the property, I'm assuming you're going to have some kind of decorative lighting on the building. You'll want to have that to be more historic and not like Cobra head
Yeah,
lighting.
that's fine.
And that will all need to be,
Not along the back of the parking lot, but in the front and with the entrance area?
yeah, if those are the exact fixtures that were used on the last one, I would assume that that's why they were, because they were full cutoff, because we were very sensitive to the lights that were going to go into the residential properties. We also had very specific requirements for fencing along there because we didn't want headlight glare going into the residential properties as well.
Yeah, we worked with the building department and the building inspector at the time after to modify that with landscaping and stuff for the neighbors.
Yeah.
Whatever we can work out that makes sense there, we're something.
Okay.
Where's the entrance to the apartments?
The entrance to the apartments would be along the back of the
Between the rear entrance and one of the retail
This would be
spaces.
the existing building right here that was in at this location right here. I wouldn't come in off the front street. The location would be right here.
Okay.
Or I think it's right here, I'm sorry.
Is there an entrance there now? For like the back of
No,
the, I don't even know.
There's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a door to the retail unit, so we
Okay.
would be basically taking one of the existing entrances to the retail unit, modifying it so that that would be the entrance to the apartments as well.
Victoria, you want to bring up the legal situation?
Sure. So, in March, the village board adopted a moratorium on new applications which increase density and development in the VCBD. It looks like, I just looked it up, it looks like it was adopted on March 3rd. And it wasn't accepted by the Secretary of State until March 10th. The way that it's worded, it says, this law shall only apply to applications received by the village after adoption by the Board of Trustees. So the question is, which I need to just check with the village attorney, since your application came in after adoption, but before the Secretary of State accepted it, do you get to move forward?
Well, I think
We submitted in February.
yeah, we actually submitted before your last planning board meeting.
You submitted in February?
Oh, so,
Yeah,
okay.
the other
Let me-
project, I had another potential project that was maybe submitted in that time.
Oh, maybe that's what I-
About the barn, which
We,
was,
yeah,
I think we were a day late.
We were doing
but this we submitted, I have all the chunk by the application, but I have the checks that were, I think they were.
I mean,
issued
that'd
already, so.
be, we had it marked as March 3rd, but. if-
That's when I got the email. Maybe when he came in with the actual, I can go back upstairs and
No,
double
no, you
check
don't need
it.
it at this minute. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's probably fine. We
What's
just
the
want
date?
to get
These are
let it by the
dated and
village.
sealed, February 3rd.
Okay,
February.
so that you're probably fine. That was just.
When I spoke to Jenny, as a matter of fact, she told me quite clearly exactly what you're telling me. That's why we have these plans which were submitted as quickly as we possibly could. We didn't know where this thing was gonna go, right, Jenny?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, if you are serious, get the plans in, so the plans have been submitted. Not necessarily under the wire, but before everything.
If you have something like evidence they accepted the check before March 3rd, we don't even have to have any more conversation about it, and we're good to go.
Well, we had another project that was probably submitted around there, so for clarity's sake, I'd be interested to know about that as well, because that would be.
Yeah, we have another project which we're going on 45 Jackson, you know, the old barn that's there? I think Jenny knows where it is.
There's an old structure on the corner of, where the old, Aquity funeral home is behind that. The white building, you know, there's 45 Jackson, that's where public defenders are.
Did you bring the photos?
There's.
I don't have anything on that with me here right now. It's upstairs.
Oh, there's no use going there because we couldn't entertain it.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't want to entertain it either. Put the eyes on the moratorium.
Okay.
Well,
And-
but you said that one was submitted, or it wasn't?
That was submitted around the March 3rd timeframe.
Okay, so we can I'll have the village attorney about that date, but in the meantime, if you have something, just whatever email you have documenting this was submitted.
I have like the checks, the receipts and all that. I'll get you that, okay? Yeah.
So I don't think there's an issue with that, with this one.
Okay. Engineering?
So you guys have touched on a bunch of the items I was calling out. Again, we were just kind of trying to lay out some of the general requirements, like Sarah mentioned. You've already addressed that you're going to be looking at stormwater. So yeah, you and I can.
I can walk to your office and,
Yeah, exactly. We'll work that out. And I think the soils over there are probably pretty good. Usually.
yeah, well, we can do infiltration testing.
Yeah, I think that whole area is all gravel. So there should be some good opportunity to improve the stormwater over there. The rest of our comments really were just, again, outlining what's going to be needed to be shown on the plan, showing existing and proposed utilities. We kind of spell out some of the things that Sarah was mentioning about the site plan, what to show on the site plan, all proposed improvements and any existing site features that you intend to keep there, anything that's going to remain, should be shown on the site plan, like all the utility poles, light poles, fencing, bollards, ground cover, everything. So we do kind of spell it out to try to clear it up. Do you have an idea of what you're going to need as far as water and sewer improvement, and what serves that property currently?
We can give you a statement of hydraulic loading rates, with the calculations, what the flow would be for one bedroom, two bedroom. And I have another project, which the sewer water superintendent just gave a letter that the capacity was available. So that would be satisfactory, that's what we could do. Paul, and, give him the hydraulic loading rate and see if he has meet the requirements for.
Yeah, I would be surprised if there was an issue with capacity on the village supply side, but that we will still need that. So
We need a backflow preventer in the building.
exactly, and then if there's upgrades needed to the service, if this just a 3/4 inch service line, currently hooked up to that building, obviously you're going to need a new service connection, and if you need sprinklers, then what will that entail? So yeah, looking into all of that, I'm not sure if what type of sewer service you have there. If it's just a 4-inch line serving that building, that's probably going to need to be upgraded to something larger. So yeah, an engineer's report outlining the demand, what's there, and then showing all of that on the site plan, and we can work through, if it does need a new sewer tap or a water tap, we can work that out with the water department, and where that should be, how that should be, and especially if you're going to need to have sprinklers, getting available pressure and capacity there, and trying to rule out whether or not you need any sort of booster pump. Can't imagine that you do, because right across the street they're putting in the apartment, so I don't think that they needed any sort of boostering, but I'm not positive. But we'll have to just verify all that and have it documented. I think that we touched on everything else already. The screening to the adjacent property that was already talked about. So yeah, we've already gone through everything in our memo too. But
Is your office satisfied with the runoff water?
not yet. They haven't provided anything yet.
I'm just saying, because one of the issues that we impervious pavers, and now they said that we want to remove them, so that's got to be addressed.
So yeah, on the previous application, they were expanding the parking lot a little bit. So again, what the planning board has historically asked of applicants is to mitigate new impervious, even though they may not meet the thresholds that the DEC sets forth that require stormwater mitigation and water quality treatment for projects of a certain size. The village still asks applicants that fall below those thresholds to mitigate runoff to the maximum extent that they can for any new impervious. So for the last application, the way that they mitigated their new paved area, the new hardscape, was by making it porous. So they were, I believe that they converted some pavement to the permeable paved area in order to mitigate some expansion of their gravel parking area, so that there would be a net, no net increase in impervious area. So if the proposal now is to remove that porous pavement, then they'll need to work that into their calculation as additional impervious that they'll need to offset somehow. So some of the ways that Chuck has mentioned that they would be looking at doing that is, subsurface infiltration chambers, so they would have to collect the stormwater and then discharge it to a subsurface chamber for infiltration. To be able to do that, they'll need to do soil testing and demonstrate that there's capacity to do that. So yeah, those will all be things that we'll be looking at. We'll be taking the site as it exists today, seeing the amount of runoff that it's generating, and then looking at it, how they're proposing it with the additional impervious, how much additional runoff that site would then generate, and then that difference they would have to mitigate. And if there's potential for them to do more than that and mitigate even more, then if there's an issue, especially if there's an existing issue with flooding or drainage, then and that they can easily correct, then we would be looking to ask them to help correct that. And they've indicated that their intention is to try to improve the drainage there. So we'll just have to see. They got to submit some. They have to put pen to paper and really see what the options are and what the potential is, and we'll work through that with them.
Okay. Joel, do you have a comment?
Yeah.
Nothing yet?
No, we're not close enough to construction for me.
Teresa?
From what Christian said about the impervious or pervious stuff, but yeah, and we'll need eventually for, samples of the materials you're going to use and stuff.
Well, the question that I talked to Jenny about the colors at the historic village one, colors, you have specific colors?
Just historic colors.
Like
So
Benjamin Moore has,
Yeah, whatever.
these are about as historic as you can get, as far as the coloring and the design. So we didn't want it to look like it was a new addition. We wanted to blend it in with the rest of the village architecture. So
Trudy, can you see it?
Yeah, I saw it before. Yeah.
I sort of like the color scheme.
it's very plain. Yeah, the windows match the bottom windows.
Yeah. Comments?
I guess I just wanted a verification. So the current retail on the first floor is remaining as is?
Yep.
And then the addition to the top, I think you said 4 one-bedroom, 3 two?
4 one-bedroom, 4 2 in a studio.
4 2 and a studio? Sorry.
Just to get a
9 units.
mixed units.
Thank you. So then the parking addition was 9, so that's 1 parking spot per unit addition.
Half per bed.
So what was the total then for the 9? It was 9 additional parking?
15 spaces, I think it was half a space per bedroom and 1 space for each unit. So that would be 9 and 6.
Got it. Thank you.
A half a space per bedroom?
That's
So it,
Plus 1 per unit, so if it's a 1 bedroom, it's 1 unit.
okay.
Right, so the
I'm
studio
not gonna
would be
be-
1, all the rest were 1 plus.
One and a half.
the-
Yeah.
Yeah,
one and a
Thank
half.
you.
Same
Yeah.
thing I
So
just
the 2s are 2 bedroom, yeah.
yeah.
They just fancy the language. And it covers
They're not big apartments, 900 square feet, it's not that big, right? Is it this room, maybe?
Trudy, you have any?
No, I don't. I'm fine. Thank
Oh, is
you.
that right now? Any other comments, questions? Well, you got your homework to do,
Thank you. We appreciate it.
and you know that you can contact my people.
My people. My people.
I think I've had more conversations with Jenny than.
Okay.
Thank you. Victoria, it was February 17th.
Perfect.
Yeah, I looked at, because I had a conversation with Kathy about it.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, so,
You're in, you're good.
okay. So, the next item on the agenda is Jackson and Main Street for extension of a site plan approval. The applicant will come forward and
Not them again.
identify yourself for the record. Oh, you're not that old.
My name's Ken Stenger. You all know my brother. You know what's going on down at the corner of Jackson. I'm here because I don't know if this is working or not, but I'm here because the approval for Jackson Crossing was made, voted on by this board March 21, 2024. It was signed on March 25, 2024. We're approaching the second year anniversary of that site plan special use permit. The work is not done, it's ongoing. And the Village of Fishkill has a statute that says at section 171-83 that the planning board may, upon a finding that the applicant is proceeding with the project with due diligence and has offered a reasonable explanation of its inability to commence and/or complete the project, grant one or more 6-month extensions of the site plan approval subject to such conditions as the planning board determines to be appropriate. So what I wanted to do today, now, you've not seen me before because I got brought into this project maybe spring of 25, maybe a little later. But I can speak to what, as a witness, I can speak to what I've seen since then. This was approved, I think, with conditions in 24. A building permit was issued during the first year of the approval. And there were conditions that had to be fulfilled, which were diligently pursued and fulfilled, and now we get into 2025. And when we get into 2025, we still have some issues that I now am dealing with. There are questions with respect to how the building permits should be issued, how much they should cost. The same is also true with water and sewer hookup fees. And there's other issues involving the IDA, but at all times during 2025, which, by the way, all of these issues that I have mentioned have all been resolved to the satisfaction of all parties. It just took a little time and a little talking, and they got resolved. And so that takes us into about the fall of 2025, when now it's really getting ready to move. We can start building. And, well, I don't want to say fall, maybe November gets us all resolved. November, December, I don't remember exactly the day, but it was good work. I worked with Greg Supple to resolve any of the issues because there had been multiple changes to the fee schedule and with respect to the building code. And there had been a change in the office of building inspector. Your building inspector, the one at that time, had resigned. Now we have my friend over here as new building inspector. But people work together. And for me, it was a very satisfying experience because every time we had a problem, nobody talked at each other. We resolved the problem and we moved forward. But now we had the following. So by the end of the year, we're teed up to pick up 7 building permits to start building there. But by the end of the year, we get the worst winter we've ever seen. And that causes problems on the site. But it doesn't stop the work on the site. Because what happens is that there's a great deal of site improvement that has to take place before you can put a foundation in the ground. And what I wanted to do, what I did today was, figuring the best way to show you this, was I went out and got some pictures of the work that's been done during this winter, which is the worst winter we've ever seen. And with the chairman's permission, I'd just like to pass these out. Is that all right?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you.
Because that fence is good, keeps a little dirt in, but you can't see what's going on in there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So the first picture you see is taken during the winter. You can see how deep they had to go into the ground. This is part of the storm system to get hooked into the storm, into the town storm, the village's storm system out on Jackson. The next picture you see, you have to, I'm not really good with this photograph on your phone thing, so it's a little blurry. But that shows you where the water main is going in, has gone in. And you can see the depth of the work that you have to deal with there. The next paragraph really gives you an idea, next page, I'm sorry, gives you a very good idea on the extent of the work necessary to put the infrastructure into this project before you start building foundations. You had to have the water in, you had to have the sewer in, you had to have the storm in. And quite frankly, at the family dinner table, we hadn't had this winter the way we had it, there'd be a building going up there now. Because we have the building permits to put the 7 foundations in the ground. And the plan is not to put all 7 in on the same day, but to work the way down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could have done this if weather had held normally back in March 1, middle of February, if weather had held like it had in prior winters, but this was an extraordinary winter. We are now projecting, I was on that site today, and you can see the depth. I mean, this is no easy job to do in the middle of winter, but it gets done. And then you can see on the next page what remains to be installed and then stormwater improvements at the site. And on the last page, you can see more of the stormwater improvements. These are all, this is all material that will be used to improve the site in accordance with the approval of this board, particularly to deal with the issue of drainage. That's what the last pieces are. And, you know, the problem is, of course, I went to law school. I didn't learn anything practical, so I'm not sure how this stuff works. But a guy told me it does, and I was there this morning. There's a pile of it. I just wanted to show it to you so you would know that people were working on this to bring this project forward. So I wanted to give you also a bit of a calendar. You know, here's my brother. Generally tells me the truth, but we're looking at March 1. That's the first foundation to go in. I can't.
That already happened. That already.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
That's the first day to get a foundation in the ground. And I wish I could sit here and say, I know when this project is going to end. I know I was out there today. That you can see the equipment that's working, you can see the motion, but you can't see what they're doing. I walked the site this morning, watched what they were doing. There's about 5 or 6 folks out there, big equipment, moving dirt right now to finish up putting things in the ground. The projected time for building permit, not a building permit, we have all the building permits. And I would just like to, I made a copy of all of them. I'd like to put that in this record. They're for foundations. Mr. Chairman, may I?
Yes.
So we're looking at the beginning of April to get into the ground. You can't get into the ground now. If you dug a hole to put a foundation and it's wet and that ground over there is sandy, it'll just fill itself up because of the weather. Once they start building, it's projected that it'll go 1, 2, 3. I'm not a construction manager, but I walked the site today and I can see the plan. I can see what they're doing. So that's where we are, and I think that history of cooperation with the village to resolve certain outstanding issues that lawyers quibbled over, and the work that's been done there demonstrates good faith reliance on this approval and the ability to move forward with it, and to move forward with it in a responsible and diligent manner. And so we ask you to give us another 6 months to continue. Because with it, and I have to say, it's unfortunate, but given the scope of work that will have to be done there, I'll probably be back here again in 6 months to say, listen, I made you a promise, we'd get some buildings up, and you're gonna look at me and say, well, you either kept your promise or you didn't. And if you didn't, we better have a conversation. But there's a pile of money in that ground right now to outfit that site just to go forward here. And it strikes me, based on everything I've read, that this level of effort vests within this applicant the right to continue his work. And I ask that this board please consider and grant that extension so this work can be considered. It will not be done in the next 6 months. It just can't be. It's too big. But once it gets up and gets going with the infrastructure in the ground, it's not going to stop until it's finished. And that's what I think you all contemplated when you approved it. So there you go. That's my heartfelt speech. Thank you for hearing what I have to say and looking at the photos.
So,
Victoria, would you explain to the board what we have to do?
yeah, sure. So this is pretty routine. There's been a project. It's been approved. Under the code, you're allowed to grant one or more extension of 6 months. So it's the time to start construction, which, you know, arguably, I think that's what Mr. Stanger's saying has been started, but it's also for the time to complete construction. And so the applicant is estimating it'll be another 16 to 18 months before the construction is completed. This is not a new approval. You're not reapproving the project. You're simply extending the time for them to complete the project on the record and approval that you've already granted. So granting this, you know, it's not a new approval. One of the things that you could consider doing is granting more than one 6 month extension at this very moment so that he does not have to return in 6 months. Perhaps you want to give 2 6 month extensions, have him come in for a progress report, or 3 6 month extensions, or one if you want, you know, to stay abreast of the construction.
And there's a limit, I think 8, didn't we say 8 times?
I have to
Something
look
like
that
that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. It was, yeah, we limited it, because at one time it was.
Right.
It went on and
come in
on and
come
on
in.
and on,
Then we
yeah.
changed, I think we set up to 8 6 months, so that's.
I have it open. You can check.
How does the board feel about, instead of granting 6 months, we grant 12 months?
I was gonna say if we can do that, 2 6 months two 6 month extensions now.
And then see where it is.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't
So
anticipate.
it
It'd be
wouldn't
good if
come
we'd
back
done it
to
a
us
year,
again
right?
till a year from today?
Yeah,
Is the board happy with that?
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
seems
I think
reasonable.
that seems fair.
Okay.
So Sarah has prepared a resolution.
Sorry, Sarah.
No, that's okay. I was trying to put my finger on the 8
What's
number
the 8?
extensions. I think that might be in the subdivision law.
If we-
Oh, okay.
Joel, do you have a comment on this before the resolution's read?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Sarah.
Okay, so I did provide everyone with a copy of the draft resolution. Whereas on February 28th, 2025, the applicant received a building permit from the Village of Fishkill and site work commenced in March 2025. Whereas in accordance with the village zoning law, the board is permitted to grant 6 month extensions to, for special permit and site plan approval. Whereas the board has received a written request for an extension of time. And now therefore be resolved that the planning board hereby grants the applicant, and I did leave it blank for your decision, the number of 6 months extensions of time to satisfy the conditions of approval to and including, and then we'll include the date in there based on the number of 6 month extensions.
Everybody understand? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
We just need to know the number.
To accept the extension for the special permit for 2 6-month timeframe. So that will be March, I don't even know what today is, March 19, 2020.
March 19, 2027.
Oh, my God. That's my motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you all very much. I'll see you next year.
You're gonna redo this?
Sending it to Ginny right now.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is access PT 1222 Hopewell Avenue for sign approval. Would the applicant please come forward and identify yourself for the record?
My name is Tim Bichek. I'm from Signs Inc. Propose some new signage on the building. Matches existing what's already there, same size and everything.
Oh, okay. That's this one?
Yes, yep.
I'm looking at the wrong one, sorry. You're not Wells Fargo.
Your
Do you have samples?
building sign?
Yeah, I don't have samples, I have color samples.
Yeah.
Can I bring them up?
We like to pick actual things.
Wait, you told me they were supposed to be here, didn't you? Yeah, I thought so.
Those are their logo colors.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so the building sign is white.
It's not lit, right?
No, it's
just
not
white.
illuminated.
Right,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it looks clean.
Yeah.
When I took the photo, it wasn't the sunniest day, so that's why the building looks dull and the sign looks so bright.
And then for the,
Same.
Yeah, same size, everything's, both sides are the same dimensions, everything as existing.
Joe, do you approve?
Yeah.
So it's white signs with this blue lettering.
Yep, the blue and the
Green.
green, it's just,
Green.
it's their logo colors, they have multiple locations all over the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
Well, what colors are they gonna be here? The sign says white with blue. Where's the green come in?
Here.
See the picture on the logo there?
It's on the paper. We
Yeah,
update
the
the
picture.
application? Right.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Oh, okay. Yep, okay. Teresa, comments?
No, I do like the darker one better, but I get it, it's their
Yeah, it's
thing.
their
I get
logo.
it. But, okay. I'm good. Guys?
You okay?
Yep.
Yep. Okay? Okay. Everybody's okay? I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Enter the motion first.
Enter a motion to accept the new signage for Access PT.
Second?
The motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
All right, guys, thank you, have a good night.
Next on the item on the agenda is Wells Fargo for sign approval. Applicant here?
I guess he didn't come.
He
He was coming from Pennsylvania, yeah.
Bummer. Really? Oh, that's right,
Applicant
Wells
here?
Car.
No?
They're not changing their lights, right? Oh.
Okay, they're not here. They come back next month. That's all the agenda items I have. Does anybody have comments?
Just that I'm not gonna be here next month.
Okay.
I'm going to Houston. We have
Houston.
3 more baseball stadiums to see, and 2 of them are in Texas, so we're going to do that.
Oh, good.
And we'll have 1 more.
Everybody okay?
Yep.
Simon?
God bless.
Then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second?
I have a motion second on the floor to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you all, and we'll see you on April 16th. Full schedule.
Yeah.